Katy Perry, Magic in the Morning with you. It is just, oh my gosh, it's too dang cold out there. 26 minutes from now, it's going to be 9 o'clock. At least we got the sun to look at. Mentioned Mike Barrett was joining us. Mike, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too.
And cold.
Just a little bit.
I just happened to be outside making a weather observation, checking out the beautiful blue skies as Mike pulls in with Buddy.
Yeah.
Was the first thing I said to you. What's it like to be able to travel to a different part of the world without even leaving home?
I know. We're in the Arctic right now. Arctic. I can't even talk. My mouth isn't working.
28 below zero.
Yeah. You know, it's not uncommon to have this for a day or two, but this prolonged period is just wearing on all of us.
Or December to January. It seems like usually at the end of January, February is really cold. I think last February was the coldest we'd ever had on record, but this keeps up, man.
Yeah. Well, this past weekend, I had frozen plumbing.
I was going to ask you, do you know anybody that's had that problem yet?
Oh, we've had a few.
Okay.
We've had a few. Frozen plumbing can be a real problem. For us, luckily, it was not. So we have a section of our house that's like a small addition that we put on, like a 12 by 12 addition, and we ended up tying in radiant floor heating in there. Well, we also put in an electric fireplace, so we were supplementing our heat in that room. And what was happening is we were making it so the thermostat wasn't kicking on the radiant. And next thing you know, the radiant recovery went way below the normal temperature and froze.
Now, let me make sure I understand this. I know other folks that have that auto on, auto off. I mean, most thermostats are that way.
Sure.
A lot of those, though, are centered outside, so the temperature has to get to a certain temperature. But you're talking about radiant heating, which is under the floor.
Right.
The thermostat is above
up
the
in the
floor.
living room area. Yeah. Yeah. So luckily, it was an easy fix for us. We were able to we have a 64-degree basement with no supplemental heat down there. So we were able to put a fan and blow it in underneath the addition area. And within the overnight, it thawed out. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And thank goodness our plumber came and made sure that we were all set. So amazing.
But you stop and think about it. There's a lot of folks, too, that have, well, the technical phrase, mobile homes, but trailers and double wides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of that's exposed. And if there's one opening in the skirting, you can have a problem.
You can have a problem.
Insurance can help with this?
Insurance can help with this. So damage caused by frozen plumbing. So the frozen plumbing itself may not necessarily be covered, but the damage that is caused by can be covered. And it's important to know what kind of policy you have. This is where the rubber meets the road, really, to be honest with you, because this is where people are starting to have the ice dams on the roof because we've had the extreme cold and it's getting ice near the eaves and any additional right now, there's no water.
None.
No. But, if we have a warm up and we get rain or we get a melt off and it starts pooling, you could have some easy damage with that. That would be covered by most policies, frozen plumbing. But even so, by my wife's car yesterday, I had to jump start it.
Nice.
I'm like, what's the deal with this? But it's just prolonged cold, sustained cold. So, but if let's say she wasn't home, or let's say we were out somewhere and it wasn't starting, your insurance policy, if you choose the right coverage, will have coverage for that. Roadside assistance or towing and labor reimbursement. So, this is where certain things that can occur to you or can occur in your situation can certainly be covered by your insurance policy. So with mobile homes, we'll back up to that. There are some companies out there that the older a mobile home gets, that when it turns a certain age, a renewal will get kicked out. And in that renewal, it will say you are no longer in this program because of the age of your mobile home, which means you're losing some coverage.
Well, what if somebody, say, for example, they update the roof, they update the windows, they update the electrical? Will that prohibit it from happening?
No.
Okay.
No. So the way the mobile homes work is that the original year of, and this is only a few companies, one or two at the most that I can think of. But this is where you want to start looking at your policy going, all right, I want to make sure I'm still covered, because there are companies out there that, regardless of the age of the mobile home, will give it what we call a comprehensive coverage, which will give you the coverage for these types of losses. And you're going to want to make sure you have that type of a policy. You may very well already have it, but it's the time to start thinking about it. You want to think about what loss could be sustained to your property and covered before it happens.
Well, yeah, after the fact, ex post facto, I believe that's how they term it.
Yeah.
Not a good thing.
Not a good thing. So, but this prolonged cold, I mean, this is also where we start seeing more fires because people may be putting in space heaters. Space heaters, that's one of the things I looked at this weekend. Like, maybe I should put a space heater in my crawl area so that I don't have that frozen plumbing issue again.
Not a good idea.
Very concerned about that. I don't want to do something like that because a space heater is not meant for prolonged use. It's a temporary use. You're not supposed to use extension cords. You know, you read the manuals on these things. Yeah, they're all ETL or UL rated in many cases. But if you don't follow the instructions, it does not matter because you can overheat an extension cord. Next thing you know, what you're hoping to do to mitigate a loss with frozen plumbing is now causing a bigger loss because you might be having a fire.
I was just going to say, have you ever had a space heater that was plugged into an extension cord? You feel that extension cord?
Feel that heat. They're not made for that. In fact, extension cords are not made for anything beyond temporary heat. By the way, you guys are vacuuming up I can hear it now in my headphones. They're vacuuming up the Christmas pine needles, Christmas tree pine needles. So, but you know, right now, you just have to be preventative. You have to really be preventative and do the best you can to try to mitigate your loss. But maybe do a little due diligence, a little homework to make sure you're covered appropriately.
I was going to say, as we get ready to wrap this up here, you hit two very important subject matters. One, the importance of keeping your mind on your insurance policy.
Yeah.
And the other thing, being pre-prepared. You can go ahead and close that door.
No,
Donna,
I think it's great. I love the sound effect.
Yeah, Donna's doing all right there. Thank you, Donna. But, you talk about the simple things that you need to do ahead of time. Getting the snow and the ice off the roof.
Right,
okay?
right.
Checking, skirting, openings in, broken windows, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I know people who do an extremely good job of preventing loss. You know, if you do the right things with a mobile home, you'll have no problems. You know, it's easy to let life get so busy that you don't get the things, and that's when things can become a problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to be calling my buddy Dustin because I got a foot of snow and 3 inches of ice on my mobile home. That is old. Okay.
You want it? Yeah. I mean, I already, believe it or not, Christmas weekend, I was out. I don't want a loss to happen to me that I try to tell people to be wary of. So I was out shoveling and clearing off as much of my roof as I possibly could. It's just a good idea. You want to do it before it's concrete anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a good idea to join us here on Tuesday mornings. Good policies with Mike from Barrett Insurance Agency. Mike, let's wrap this up.
Yes, so you can give us a call. Barrett Insurance Agency. We're on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. You can call us at 748-5224. Visit our website, thebarrettagency.com. We're on Google, Facebook, and YouTube as Barrett Insurance Agency. And we post these conversations on just about everything we have. So,
all right, Mike, thanks.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, too.
All right, morning moves on. As cold as it is, music on the way from Judah and the Lion. Magic 97.7.